For the little baby, the rub, nigga, I gotta be safe.
Let's get to sports talk.
Most all of them at the top anyway. Florida, Notre Dame, Auburn, and Oregon all have really strong losses, meaning they lost to good teams. The other teams not so much. Taking that into consideration, Herbie, who's the best one-loss team right now in your judgment?
It's a toss-up for me between Florida and Oregon. We just talked about Oregon. I've been very impressed with what Florida did during this 3-week stretch. Mentioned last week about Kyle Trask and what he's done stepping in for Felipe Franks. I think they're better as far as their efficiency is concerned. And now they get a bye week before they go to Jacksonville. So I would give Florida the edge over.
Yeah. Kyle Trask, he filled in well for Francois. He been pretty solid for Florida. He got Florida to I think 7-1. Like he been playing good since ever since Francois went down with the injury. So next year you might see a quarterback battle between them two. Cause the year Kyle Trask having, like it's gonna be a battle. Like he might not get the job back. It's just like when you get injured and your backup play well, it's gonna be a controversy for your spot next year. That's like when you get hurt, that's why you be concerned about your starting job. Because if that player playing good and got the team winning them games, it's going to be kind of hard to get your job back. And then I know for a fact it's going to be a battle next year because the way Cal is playing, you got to give him an opportunity to fight for that job next year. You know, Francois is a good, solid quarterback for them, but you got to give that guy a chance, a good opportunity to be a starter for next year. Because he got him to 7-1. After it went down, everyone thought the Gator season was going to be over. But he filled in very nicely. After that game against Kentucky, he had a solid outing. And then from there, he got them to 7-1. He started playing well. And he's leading them to a good season. That's why they one of the best teams that only lose one game. And so you got to give him an opportunity to fight for that job next year because how he playing. So he could take that over to next year and fight for that spot and be the permanent starter for next year. We got to wait to see what Francois going to be once he come back. And it's going to be a tough time to get the opportunity to be that starter because how Trask is playing right now. So it's going to be a battle next year.
Oregon, but it'd be very close.
Yeah, I think it's Florida. I've seen Florida mature in the passing game and the explosiveness on offense, and it's just been, they got a lot of weapons out wide, and Kyle Trask is using them. Listen, I think they'll get healthier with the bye week. Grenard will be back. Zuniga will be back. The defense will be back to what we saw more early in the year. But, I give the offense and the offensive identity and playmaking and big playability to them over in Oregon, to them over in Georgia, to them over in Auburn, coupled with the defense.
I agree with you, David. I like this Florida team. Very impressed with what they were able to do on the road at LSU. I mean, they had to lead in the second half, and then they gave it up. I mean, but you're talking about a defense that completely shut down Auburn and took Auburn out of what they were doing well earlier in the season. And so when they're healthy, which they should be in a couple weeks here when all their guys should be back, I am impressed by this Florida defense. I've been impressed by what Trask has done this season, stepping in. And to think that Trask threw for more yards than Joe Burrow did in that LSU game, the same amount of touchdowns, he was the question mark. Could he step in and fill in for Felipe Franks and this offense be good? Well, they've been better on offense with him in there. And so I think Florida right now is the best one-loss team. But, Kirk, I do respect Oregon. I just have more trust in the defense of Florida when they're healthy.
And Joey,
I said Florida, by the way, team. I said Florida.
Well, you picked two, Kirk.
You picked two teams.
They threw a video of Oregon, but I did say Florida.
Said it was a toss-up.
I did say Florida.
I think whenever we talk Florida, guys, the first thing that comes out of your mouth is defense, dominant defense. I think what makes this Florida team better this year, to me, it's the most dangerous offense I think they've had since 2009. And Tim Tebow, think about that. And we talk about Kyle Trask and the quick...
Like, they ain't lose a beat with Cal in there. The team's still playing the same way with him in there, the way he operating that team is a good thing for them. Like, as long as he get the offense going, then that make the defense have plenty of rest to go in there and handle their business. And the way he's playing, he having a good year so far. Like, he leading this team to a potential chance to fight for a playoff spot. If he keep this up, Florida's gonna be fighting for him. We got to see how the season gonna turn out because they one of the best teams in the SEC right now, and they believe in Cloud. His leadership got this team going. Like, it's like you thought your starting quarterback went down. You thought it was gonna be an up and down season with a backup. No, it turned out he became a solid starter for them. As long as your offense playing good or putting up points, and your defense don't have to be on the field as much, you can win them games because your offense is moving the ball every game, and that make the defense very feel good because they ain't got a weapon man on the field as long. Like, you think as a backup, you don't think he will play well, but he proven that he's a solid quarterback for them, and that's why I keep saying this. That's why I think it's gonna be a quarterback battle next year, because once you go down, it's very hard to come back and be the starter because how the guy playing behind you, and he's stepping up and getting his team with a winning record.
Decisions and the accuracy, whether it's good weather or bad weather. He threw it 33 times against South Carolina in a downpour, and the toughness he's shown with the knee injury against Auburn, coming back and leading them to a win. But look at the group of receivers and tight ends, Pitts, and running backs they have. They've got legit home run hitters across the board. And by the way, they're about to get their most dynamic player back, Kadarius Toney, against Georgia in the biggest game of the season so far, in 2 weeks. So the offense to me is what makes them different. The fact that they beat Auburn, who Oregon lost to, I think gives them an edge over the Ducks for me.
And that's how you know you're a solid team. Like, you got injuries, and they playing so good, you can't even tell they had injuries until someone say something about it. Like, I didn't even know they had no injuries. That's how good they've been playing this year. It covered everything that's what's going on, and it make you pay attention to the team more so than the injuries. You ain't even know they had players on the reserve. And then they playing solid, so they get everybody back soon going to this bye week. So they be fully loaded once everyone come back.
Right now, of course, they beat South Carolina without their two starting defensive ends, who just beat Georgia. So to me right now, the best one-loss team is the Gators.
Jesse, that is a great point about the offense of Florida. I'm sure that there are play callers in the country who are Dan Mullen's equal, but I'll take him up against anybody. I think there's no one that is clearly better. He has a great sense of timing, whether it's a trick play or setting up a play and so forth, and it's benefited the Gators greatly a couple of times when they couldn't block the opposing offensive or defensive front, especially in that Auburn game. Hey, thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For more scores, highlights, and analysis, you can download the ESPN app. You've got the ESPN app, right?